welcome to Digit. My name is Yatnesh and I have a small problem. You see, today we have the Alienware X17 with us. Now, Alienware is a brand primarily known for making big, bulky and well-built laptops. So, when the brand announced its X series of gaming laptops that were going to be thinner but within the same form factor, I was quite skeptical. You see, early Alienware laptops had a tendency to heat up quite a bit, and I wasn't sure that this is primarily the best move that the brand should be making. But after having the laptop with me for more than 2 weeks and testing it thoroughly, I'm pretty sure I was wrong. So here is everything you need to know about the Alienware X17. First off, let's begin with the specs. Now, this laptop packs in an Intel Core i7-11800H octa-core CPU, an NVIDIA RTX 3070 GPU with 8GB GDDR6 VRAM, 32GB DDR4 RAM, a 1080p FHD high refresh rate display and much more. Since it's an Alienware laptop, it's designed pretty well and you can feel it in every shape. This thing feels solid from every aspect, there is no flex, no loose hinge, absolutely nothing. In terms of design elements, you get an Alienware logo on the back along with thin RGB lights near the air vents, and all such vents on this laptop have a honeycomb shape as well. I feel that this honeycomb shape has become synonymous with Alienware in recent years. Nonetheless, it looks cool and also functions really well, about which we'll talk in a minute. As first, I need to talk about the rest of the stuff like the keyboard, the trackpad and the speakers. So starting off with the keyboard, the laptop has a good keyboard. The keys have a good amount of travel and offer a good pushback as well. As a result, they do make this keyboard a little bit noisy. You can't take this thing into a library and jot away 1,000-word story and expect no one coming to tell you to keep it down. But on the flip side, the keyboard is really good for gaming. Like having confirmation that you have clicked a particular button naturally improves the gaming experience and performance. So for gaming, I love the keyboard. For typing, I'm fine with it because I don't mind the noise. But some people can have a problem with it, so it's worth mentioning. Secondly, let's talk about the trackpad. Now, I have noticed that one of the main things which makes a trackpad good is a high refresh rate screen. The 360Hz display on this laptop is super fast and allows the trackpad to make good use of it. You can see how small the trackpad is, but personally, I found it enough for my daily use, as even for my smallest of gestures, I was easily able to move the pointer over a larger distance on screen. So trackpad, personally, I have no issues with it, but considering the price of this laptop, I would want to see left and right clickable buttons on this thing as well. Next up, the speakers. Now, these speakers are very bad considering the price point of this laptop, and that's really a shame. Even the entry-level M1 Mac, which probably costs way less than this device, has world-class speakers. Dell's own XPS 13 has great speakers, but their flagship laptop just has this plastic sounding speakers, which honestly ruins the excellent gaming experience it seeks to provide. My recommendation would be to either use headphones or external speakers. So to recap, the laptop is well built, has a good keyboard and trackpad combination, but has bad speakers. Moving on to its screen, and it is a good one for gaming. It is a 17-inch 1080p 360Hz display which will serve you really well while playing esports titles. In fact, I even won my first amateur Valorant tournament using this laptop, and I don't even know how to play the game properly. So the screen is good for gaming but not for editing, as it's not very color accurate. In terms of different benchmarks as well, you can see how this laptop performs. The Core i7 CPU crushed in terms of Cinebench R20 score and single core score in Cinebench R23 benchmarks. The laptop was left behind when it comes to PC Mark 10 Extended and Firestrike, but almost matched with the RTX 3080 in terms of time spy. Now before I move on to talk about gaming performance, you guys need to know something about this laptop's cooling. This laptop has 4 fans and it uses a special thermal compound to cool its internal components. And the cooling on this laptop honestly works very well. Considering that it's packing an 8-core CPU and an NVIDIA RTX 3070 inside, this thing remains cool even in a non-AC room, and that's a huge improvement because this X line of Alienware laptops are thinner than last year's model, and yet they can stay much cooler while gaming. Also, here is a comparison with the competition to give you a reference as to how hot these things usually get. With that being said, here's how the laptop performs in some demanding AAA titles. Now this laptop also has something called a Mux switch or Nvidia Optimus, which bypasses the integrated graphics to deliver around 5 to 10% better performance in games. And perform in games it did. First up, we tested the Dirt 5, and this laptop ran the title continuously at above 100 FPS. Now Dirt 5, as you remember, was the first and quote-unquote next-gen title for Xbox Series X and PS5, and the game ran on 120 FPS on those machines in performance mode. So considering that the Alienware X17 absolutely crushed this game by running it over 100 FPS at a fixed 1080p resolution at high settings, I am pressed to say that I am pretty impressed. Next up, we tested AC Valhalla. Now we knew it was a demanding title, so we decided to push the laptop even further by running the title at ultra high graphics quality setting at a fixed 1080p resolution. The benchmark started strong by delivering between 70 to 85 FPS, constantly fluctuating in this range, sometimes touching close to 100 FPS in open areas and sometimes dipping down to low 60s in crowded scenes. However, the overall FPS of the game remained above 60 FPS and mostly between 70 to 85 FPS. The third title we tested was Gears 5, which is a fifth installment in the Gears of War series. It is a third-person over-the-shoulder corridor shooter with a lot of explosions and bloodshed, so naturally a good title to test the CPU and the GPU. Just like other games, we put this title on ultra-high settings as well and ran it through a benchmark, and the laptop managed to deliver close to high 90s in most empty areas and dipped to low 80s during intense fight scenes. Like I said, the game is pretty bombastic and features a lot of explosions. Thus, the overall game managed to score an average FPS of 92. The fourth title we tested was the Metro Exodus non-enhanced version. This is probably the most demanding title amongst the bunch, testing both the CPU and the GPU to its limit. We also tested this game at ultra high settings naturally to get the most out of it. During most scenes of the exploration and traversal, I believe that you can get close to 90 FPS in ultra high settings at 1080p resolution. However, the FPS drops to low 60s and 50s in areas with a lot of dense grass, trees and sunlight. Still, overall, I believe that you can get close to 80 to 90 FPS during your entire gameplay. The last title we tested was the Shadow of the Tomb Raider at 1080p at highest graphical preset, and we found that this game delivered close to 85 FPS during most situations in the game. During the first section of the game, the FPS dipped to low 70s during the crowd section but fluctuated between 70 to 80 FPS during most of the time. During the jungle section with thick vegetation and trees, the details did stress the CPU and the GPU a bit, which brought the FPS down to low 60s in some cases. During the market sequence of the benchmark, the game delivered at minimum 63 to 64 FPS and close to 70 FPS in most cases. In all these games, we did not tinker with any DLSS feature, so you can expect more performance once you enable that in select games. To give you a better picture, here's how the laptop performs as compared to some other laptops in the ultra high-end performance range. So the Alienware X17 is a good gaming laptop with a price tag that is close to Rs 3 lakh. It is also quite expensive. The highlighting factor of this laptop is that it's willing to go above and beyond the competition in terms of build quality and the overall quality of the components. Now, other laptop in a similar price range may or may not be able to do so, but the fact remains that traveling that extra mile in terms of build quality still remains very expensive for a lot of consumers. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you liked it, and if you did, please remember to press the like button and also press the subscribe button and hit the bell icon as it helps us out immensely. And for everything related to laptops, please keep it right here.